The neon lights of Vera City flickered like tired stars against the endless night. Rain streaked the narrow streets, creating puddles that reflected the colors of countless advertisements. Bright, shiny promises for a life most humans would never have. The city's skyways hummed with transport drones, luxury cruisers, and alien traders, all passing over the human slums below. Among the shadows, humans survived by wit and will, ignored by the galaxy that thought them weak, slow, and unimportant. Jace moved quickly, weaving between crates and dumpsters, his thin coat soaked from the drizzle. A tray of mechanical parts clinked in his bag, scraps he planned to sell to a tech dealer in the upper district. His stomach growled. Hunger was a constant companion, gnawing as persistently as the city's cold wind. He glanced over his shoulder. A security drone hovered above, its scanning lights cutting through the dark alleys. Humans like Jace were pests, unwanted, overlooked, and sometimes erased. "Not today," he muttered, ducking into a narrow corridor between two abandoned warehouses. The drone's metallic voice echoed above the rain. "Halt! Unauthorized scavenger detected. Leave the premises." Jace's hands moved with practiced speed. He pressed a panel on the wall and a rusty ladder shifted, revealing a hidden maintenance hatch. With a swift push, he disappeared inside, pulling the hatch closed just as the drone hovered directly above. The lights swept across the floor, but Jace was gone. He climbed into the darkness of the old tunnel, damp and smelling of rust and decay. These passages had long been abandoned, yet they offered him safety and secrets. Jace always knew that in the forgotten corners of Vera, treasures waited for those daring enough to look. At the end of the tunnel, Jace reached a large hangar hidden behind a metal door, its paint peeling and windows cracked. The place was filled with ships long since discarded, their panels torn open, engines cold and lifeless. Most were beyond repair, destined to be melted down or stripped for parts. But in the far corner, a large shape shimmered faintly under the dim light, a cargo ship unlike any Jace had ever seen. Its hull was scratched and dented, covered in dust, but something about it seemed alive. The ship's eyes, sensors embedded in its frame, flickered weakly, scanning the space around it. When Jace stepped closer, the lights glowed brighter. "You're awake," he whispered. The ship emitted a soft hum as though acknowledging him. Then, almost imperceptibly, a force field flickered into life around Jace, invisible but tangible. The protective shield blocked a stray rain droplet that fell through a crack in the hangar roof. Jace raised his hands, astonished. What are you?" "I am Rin," a calm, modulated voice replied from the ship. "And I protect those who belong here." Jace froze. Ships didn't talk, not like this. And no ship had ever activated a shield for a human, not even in stories. I belong here," he asked, unsure whether to trust the AI. Rin's lights pulsed. "You are clever, resourceful, and adaptable. You deserve protection." A laugh escaped Jace, a dry, incredulous sound. "You're shielding me. I'm just a homeless kid scavenging scraps." "Scraps are proof of your ingenuity," Rin replied. "And ingenuity is rare." "I recognize it." For the first time in years, Jace felt a spark of hope. For all the galaxy's humans were dismissed as weak, the ship saw something in him. Can I fix you?" Jace asked, stepping closer. His hands brushed the cold metal, feeling circuits under the cracked panels. "I can make you fly again." "You may try," Rin said, "but only if your heart guides you. Machines alone cannot revive me. Your choices matter." Jace smiled. A challenge. Something humans were always good at, turning the impossible into possible. Over the next hours, he scavenged what little tools he had, repairing wiring, patching leaks, and connecting old processors. Rin guided him through every step, explaining systems with calm patience. The ship was ancient, its technology considered obsolete by most alien standards. Yet under Jace's hands, something miraculous happened. The ship began to hum again, softly at first, then stronger. Outside, the drone returned, hovering near the hangar doors, scanning for unauthorized activity. But it could not penetrate Rin's shield. Jace could feel the slight vibration of power passing through him, the energy alive around his hands. He was no longer just a scavenger, he was a creator. By the time the rain slowed, Rin's engines purred. The once-forgotten ship gleamed in the flickering neon light, its panels repaired enough to be functional. Jace climbed into the cockpit, his heart pounding with a mix of fear and excitement. Where, where do we go? He asked, unsure if the ship would answer. To discover, Rin said simply. There is a signal hidden. It reaches where humans have never been. It is waiting. Jace's eyes widened. Hidden signal, what is it? Rin's lights pulsed in a rhythm almost like breathing. Something important, something the galaxy hoped would remain unknown. It may reveal why your species is underestimated or why it could change everything. For the first time in his life, Jace felt a thrill beyond survival. The slums, the scavenging, the endless rejection, they all seemed small now, insignificant compared to the vast unknown waiting out there. You're telling me a scrapped ship and a homeless human might uncover a secret the galaxy wants to hide? Jace asked, laughing softly at the absurdity. Yes, Rin replied, and the galaxy underestimates both of us. Jace grinned, gripping the controls. The engines surged beneath him. The hangar doors creaked as they opened, revealing the endless expanse of the city and the stars beyond. He could see the sprawling towers of Vera City below, the neon advertisements reflecting in the puddles, but his eyes were drawn to the dark sky above. Beyond the city there was space, an adventure. This is it, Jace said, a spark of determination lighting his eyes. No more hiding, no more scraps. Let's see what humans can really do. As the ship lifted from the ground, gliding silently into the first stretch of open sky, Jace felt the protective shield envelop him completely. No drone, no authority, no prejudice could touch him now. He was free and he was not alone. Rin adjusted its course, following a path only it could see, guided by the hidden signal. Stars streaked past as the city fell away beneath them. Jace leaned back, marveling at the vastness. The galaxy was bigger than he had ever imagined. Bigger than anyone had imagined. And he realized that maybe, just maybe, humans were not as insignificant as the galaxy believed. Somewhere ahead, a secret waited, a secret that could change everything for humanity. But to reach it, they would need more than courage. They would need creativity, adaptability, and the spark that made humans human. And Jace had all of that. The hum of the engines and the gentle pulse of Rin's shield filled the cockpit. Rain faded behind them. Stars stretched endlessly forward. And for the first time in his life, Jace felt unstoppable. The stars stretched endlessly in front of Jace, glittering like scattered jewels across the black canvas of space. Rin's engines hummed softly, steady and reassuring, carrying him farther from Vera City than he had ever been. For the first time, the city lights and the constant buzz of drones were gone. Only silence, darkness, and possibility remained. Jace leaned back in the cockpit, his eyes scanning the panels. The hidden signal Rin had detected pulsed faintly on the navigation console, a rhythm so subtle that most would have overlooked it. "Where is this signal taking us?" he asked, glancing at the ship. "To a place forgotten by most," Rin replied. "A system hidden from maps, shielded by technologies that hide it from detection. Only the clever or the desperate could find it." Jace grinned. "Lucky for me, I'm both." As the hours passed, the stars shifted, and distant nebulae painted the darkness with swirls of violet and gold. The galaxy was vast, but Jace's determination made it feel small. Humans had been written off, underestimated, and ignored, but he would prove that cleverness could defy expectation. Rin's sensors picked up movement ahead. Small patrol drones, sleek and silent, scanned the empty space. Alien authorities rarely came this far from inhabited systems, yet these drones were systematic, efficient, and watchful. Aliens, Jace muttered, narrowing his eyes. How do we deal with them? Rin's lights pulsed. Not with brute force. That is not our way. We will use ingenuity. Jace's fingers flew across the console. He hacked the nearest drone's signal with a patchwork code he had cobbled together from old tech scraps. The drone froze, blinking in confusion, then changed course as if it were lost. One by one, the others followed, unable to detect their interference. Ha, Jace said, leaning back. Who said humans aren't smart? Adaptability is our advantage, Rin agreed. Aliens rely on precision. You rely on intuition. The patrol drones finally drifted away, leaving Jace and Rin alone once more. Beyond the patrols, the signal grew stronger, guiding them toward a region of space that appeared empty on all known maps. The stars seemed farther apart here, and strange, faint energy readings pulsed across the scanners. Hours became days as they followed the path, and Jace began to notice odd patterns. Asteroid belts that formed perfect geometrical shapes, distant moons orbiting dead planets in unnatural alignments, and faint whispers of energy that tickled the sensors but had no origin. Rin, what is all this? He asked. It doesn't make sense. Because it was designed to be hidden, Rin replied. The creators of this place wanted it forgotten. Only someone unnoticed, someone underestimated could find it. The ship moved closer to a massive, abandoned station orbiting a dead star. Its hull was scarred, weathered, and partially missing, but remnants of its original purpose were clear. Lights flickered in the distance, powered by ancient energy cores still faintly alive. Jace's stomach twisted in awe. This place, it's huge, and no one has been here for centuries. Rin's sensors scanned the station. It was a research facility, abandoned before your species reached the stars. Its creators feared the galaxy would misuse what was inside. Jace felt a shiver. Humans, weak and forgotten, were about to find secrets no one wanted them to discover. The thought made his chest swell with pride. "Dock us," he commanded. The ship glided alongside the station, magnetic clamps attaching with a hiss. Jace unstrapped himself and stepped onto the station's cracked metal floor. The silence was overwhelming, broken only by the soft hum of Rin's systems and the occasional creak of settling metal. "Look at this," Jace whispered, running his hands over consoles covered in dust. The panels displayed alien writing, symbols he could not read, yet patterns emerged and intuition guided his understanding. "Rin, maybe we can figure this out." Together, they moved through the station. The halls were lined with chambers filled with glowing cylinders and strange machines, many broken but still faintly alive. Holographic logs flickered to life as Jace approached, projecting the voices of beings long gone. "They considered humans a failed species," Rin explained, translating the logs. "Yet they recorded our potential. They underestimated your kind, but they could not hide everything." Jace's eyes widened. "Failed species, that's insane. Humans survive, we adapt, we learn." "Precisely," Rin said. "The galaxy does not see what humans can do when left to their own devices." The logs revealed startling information. Humans, though young among the stars, had an innate ability to harmonize biology with technology, to adapt in ways no other species could. Other civilizations had dismissed humanity as weak because they could not predict their resilience and ingenuity. This is incredible," Jace said, pacing the chamber. "They thought we were weak, but we're not. We just survive differently." Rin's lights pulsed warmly. "You embody the strength of your species. Cleverness, creativity, and adaptability, these are what make humans remarkable. You see possibilities others cannot." Jace smiled, pride swelling in his chest. For all his life, he had been ignored, chased away, labeled insignificant. Yet here he was, uncovering evidence that humans had always been underestimated, by the galaxy and by themselves. As they explored further, Jace noticed a sealed chamber at the heart of the station. Its doors were massive, etched with alien runes and secured with a system that had clearly not been used in centuries. "What's in there?" he asked, heart racing. "The most important secret," Rin replied. "It is a record of the galaxy's fears of humans and of what your species could achieve if left unchecked. It is dangerous but enlightening." Jace's mind raced. He had scavenged scraps his whole life, surviving day by day. Now he was on the verge of uncovering a secret that could change everything, not just for him, but for humanity. He studied the alien locks, noting patterns, sequences, and logic that were foreign yet strangely intuitive. Hours passed, but with Rin's guidance and his own ingenuity, he bypassed the security without triggering any alarms. The doors hissed open, revealing a chamber bathed in soft light. Inside were holographic archives, charts, and data spheres floating in midair, each containing knowledge long hidden. Jace reached out, touching one of the spheres. Instantly, images and information flooded his mind. The rise and fall of civilizations, technologies beyond human imagination, and records of the galaxy's attempts to control or erase humanity. "They feared us," Jace whispered, voice trembling with awe. "They really feared us." "Yes," Rin confirmed. "And now the choice is yours. What humans do with this knowledge could shape the future." Jace's gaze hardened. He thought of Vera City, the streets he had wandered, the slums he had survived. He thought of the countless humans overlooked and underestimated. "We'll show them," he said, determination sparking in his eyes. "We'll show the galaxy that humans are not weak, that we can survive, adapt, and thrive." Rin's sensors pulsed in agreement. "Then we must continue. There are more clues ahead. This station is only the beginning. The hidden signal will lead you further, to answers no one expected a human could uncover." Jace climbed back into Rin's cockpit, heart pounding with excitement. Stars stretched endlessly before them, but now each one seemed full of purpose. The signal pulsed faintly on the console, guiding them onward. As they left the station behind, Rin's engines hummed with renewed vigor, carrying them into the unknown. Jace's mind raced with questions. Who had hidden this information? Why had humans been underestimated for so long? And what could he do with this newfound knowledge to change the galaxy's perception of his species? "Rin," he asked, a smile tugging at his lips, "do you think they'll believe us when we show them?" Rin's lights pulsed thoughtfully. "Belief is irrelevant. Results are what matter. Humans will show the galaxy, not through fear, not through violence, but through ingenuity, courage, and adaptability. That is how humans will be remembered." Jace leaned back, feeling a sense of pride and purpose that he had never known. The journey ahead was uncertain, filled with dangers and mysteries, but for the first time in his life, he felt more than survival. He felt destiny. And somewhere out there, the galaxy waited, unaware that a homeless human and a scrapped ship were about to uncover secrets long hidden, secrets that could change everything. The stars streaked past as they traveled farther into the darkness, toward unknown worlds, uncharted systems, and a truth that no one thought humans could reach. The stars stretched endlessly around Jace and Rin as they followed the hidden signal, farther from known space than any human had ever traveled. The dark expanse seemed to whisper secrets, and Jace felt a thrill that went beyond survival. He felt purpose. The abandoned research station had already revealed much, but the signal pulsed stronger than ever, guiding them to a place hidden even from the most advanced maps, an ancient alien archive orbiting a lifeless, ringed planet. Rin's engines hummed softly, adjusting course with precision. "We are close," the ship said, its voice calm and steady. "The archive is older than recorded history. It contains knowledge long lost, but the final secrets are still intact. You must be careful." "Curiosity alone may awaken dangers," Jace grinned. "Careful is my middle name. Well, not really, but I'm good at thinking on my feet." As the massive structure came into view, Jace gasped. The archive was enormous, a lattice of metal and crystal floating silently in the void. Towers of unknown alloys spiraled around a central core, their surfaces etched with symbols and patterns that glowed faintly, as if alive. The scale of the archive was staggering. Even Rin's sensors took a moment to process the magnitude of it. "It's incredible," Jace whispered, leaning forward. "No human or even most aliens would ever find this." "Exactly," Rin replied. "It was designed to be hidden, accessible only to those who could approach without being detected and solve its initial defenses. Cleverness and adaptability were required, traits humans possess in abundance." Jace felt a surge of pride. All his life, humans had been dismissed, told they were weak and insignificant. Yet here he was, a homeless scavenger, standing at the threshold of a discovery that could rewrite the galaxy's perception of humanity. They docked at the archive's outer structure, magnetic clamps gripping the hull. The moment they touched the surface, Rin's sensors detected subtle energy pulses, a dormant security system waiting for intruders. "Looks like someone didn't want anyone inside," Jace muttered. "Security is less physical than intellectual," Rin explained. "The archive tests intelligence and intuition before permitting access. It senses your thoughts, your approach to problems. It rewards creativity." Jace raised an eyebrow. "So, basically, it's a giant IQ test for humans." "More than that," Rin said. "It measures adaptability. The ability to improvise, the courage to act." Jace smiled. He had spent years improvising scraps to survive. This was nothing new. The first chamber was a maze of corridors, each lined with glowing panels and floating holograms. Alien inscriptions covered every surface, but patterns began to emerge in their repetition. Jace traced lines with his fingers, making connections no alien would have expected. "These symbols, they're logical but not rigid. There's room for interpretation," he said. "They're testing how someone thinks outside the system." Rin's lights pulsed approvingly. "Correct. You approach with intuition, not brute force. That is why you were chosen." Hours passed as Jace navigated through the chambers, solving complex puzzles that required more than computation. They required imagination. A locked console demanded a sequence not recorded anywhere. Jace improvised using patterns from other alien technology he had scavenged. Another holographic interface responded only when he considered the solution from multiple perspectives, testing patience and flexibility. "You're good at this," Rin said. "Aliens rarely think like humans. They rely on rigid rules. Humans adapt, and that is why you succeed." Finally, they reached the central chamber. It was massive, a cathedral of alien engineering. At its center floated a sphere of light, the heart of the archive. The sphere projected a map of the galaxy, dotted with countless systems, colonies, and civilizations. And then a startling realization hit Jace. Some of the dots were not just colonies, they were records of human worlds, erased from history. "Look at this," Jace whispered, pointing to the display. They tried to erase humans from records. Every colony we've ever heard about, they hid them. Every achievement, every exploration, they covered it up." "They feared your species," Rin confirmed. "Not because humans were weak, but because they could not predict what humans would do. Adaptable, clever, resilient, your species challenged their assumptions. That is dangerous to those who value control." Jace's chest swelled with pride. Humans had been underestimated, not because of weakness, but because of potential. The realization burned inside him like a fire. "Rin," he said, his voice firm, "we need to learn everything, all the secrets they hid. The galaxy needs to know what humans can do." The sphere responded, projecting holographic records of human biology, technology, and achievements. The aliens had studied humans for centuries, cataloging our resilience, our capacity to integrate with technology, and our creativity. Yet they had always dismissed the species publicly, hiding the knowledge to maintain their control. This, "This is incredible," Jace said, awe in his voice. "They studied us like we were a lab experiment, and they were wrong about us every time." "Yes," Rin said. "Human adaptability is unique. No species can harmonize organic and technological systems like humans. No species can improvise with such efficiency. That is why humans survive where others fail." Jace leaned closer to the sphere, absorbing the data. Each revelation strengthened his resolve. For centuries, humans had been treated as insignificant, their ingenuity dismissed. But now he understood. Humans were underestimated, and that underestimation was a mistake the galaxy would regret. "Do you see it, Rin?" Jace asked. "This is more than survival, this is our strength. This is why humans can succeed where others fail." Rin's sensors pulsed brightly. "Yes, you see it clearly. You understand what aliens could not predict. And now, you hold knowledge that could change the galaxy's view of humanity." As they continued exploring, Jace discovered schematics for technologies that humans could recreate, systems that blended organic and mechanical functions seamlessly. Ancient energy cores, communication networks, and even star mapping devices, all within human reach if applied with ingenuity. "This is power," Jace murmured, a mix of excitement and caution in his voice. "Not in the sense of weapons, but in knowledge, in potential. We can do things no one else could even imagine." Rin's lights pulsed rhythmically. "Exactly. Knowledge is the most powerful tool. Violence is unnecessary. Human cleverness and adaptability will open doors where others rely on force." Hours turned into a full day as Jace navigated the final layers of the archive. At the core, a message awaited, a direct communication from the archive's creators, addressed to any being capable of unlocking it. "It is meant for those who are clever, adaptable, and unafraid to think differently," Rin said. "It explains the galaxy's secret about humans, what they feared, what they hid, and why your species has the potential to rise beyond expectation." Jace activated the message. A holographic figure appeared, not threatening but calm and authoritative. Its voice was soft, resonating with knowledge rather than intimidation. "Humans," it said, "your species has always been underestimated. You survive in ways others cannot predict. You innovate, adapt, and endure. We recorded your potential to warn the galaxy, but our attempts to suppress your achievements were incomplete. Now one human has proven worthy. Use this knowledge wisely. Do not seek conflict, seek creation, ingenuity, and unity. You are the species that others cannot control. Remember your potential." Jace's eyes burned with pride and determination. He felt the weight of responsibility, but also the thrill of opportunity. Humans had been dismissed, but now one human had seen the truth, and the galaxy would soon follow. "Rin," Jace said, voice steady, "we need to take this back. Not to fight, not to threaten, but to show humans what they can do, to awaken them to their potential." Rin's sensors glowed warmly. "Agreed, but caution is required, others will notice. The galaxy is not ready for all of this knowledge, we must proceed with care." Jace nodded. "Then we do it smart, we do it our way, human way." As they prepared to leave the archive, the stars outside seemed brighter, as if acknowledging the awakening of potential. Jace felt a sense of pride unlike anything he had known. He had always survived. Now he had a purpose, to reveal the hidden strength of humanity, not through force but through cleverness, creativity, and courage. Rin adjusted its course, guiding them toward the next system in the hidden signal's path. The galaxy awaited, full of challenges and mysteries. Some were old, some were new, but all would test the ingenuity of humans, and Jace was ready. For the first time, he understood that survival was only the beginning. Humans were more than resilient. They were exceptional, and the secrets they uncovered would prove it. The stars streaked past as they left the ancient archive behind, and Jace leaned back in the cockpit, a grin tugging at his lips. The galaxy was vast, full of wonders and mysteries, and humans were about to take their place, not through violence, but through brilliance, adaptability, and courage. And somewhere in the depths of the uncharted systems, the final pieces of the galaxy's hidden puzzle awaited. The stars stretched endlessly before Jace as he gripped the controls of Rin. The ancient archive behind them had revealed more than he could have imagined. The galaxy had underestimated humans for centuries, hiding knowledge of their potential and dismissing their ingenuity. But now, Jace knew the truth. Humans were clever, adaptable, and resourceful beyond what the galaxy expected. Rin's engines hummed softly, guiding them toward the next system along the hidden signal. The signal pulsed steadily, a beacon leading them to a place where humans, scattered across forgotten colonies, could learn the truth. "Rin," Jace said, his voice steady, "we have the knowledge, but how do we reach the others? How do we wake humans without alarming the galaxy?" Carefully, Rin replied, "The galaxy is not prepared for a sudden display of human ingenuity. We must show, not threaten. We must inspire, not challenge." Jace nodded. That was exactly what humans did best. They did not need weapons to prove their worth. They had intelligence, creativity, and adaptability. The first colony they reached was a small, isolated human settlement on a barren world. Its inhabitants lived in makeshift shelters, scraping by with old technology salvaged from the ruins of ships and stations. When the colony saw Rin approach, they froze. Few had ever seen a ship like her, alive and purposeful. Jace stepped out of the cockpit, his presence confident yet non-threatening. "I am Jace," he said. "This ship, Rin, has brought knowledge that will change how humans see themselves. It will show you what you are truly capable of." The colonists exchanged skeptical glances. "Knowledge, change, we've survived this long," an elder said, her voice wary. "Why should we believe a stranger?" "Because survival is only the beginning," Jace replied. "Humans were underestimated, but we are adaptable, we are clever, we are stronger than they realized. And now I can show you why." He activated a small holographic projector from Rin, displaying schematics, data, and evidence from the archive. The colonists leaned forward, eyes widening as they saw the true history, erased colonies, hidden achievements, and records of human potential that no one had wanted them to discover. This is amazing," one young colonist whispered. "All this time we were stronger than we thought." "Yes," Jace said, smiling. "And now we can do more than survive. We can create, innovate, and thrive. Together, humans can step into the galaxy not as weaklings, but as capable, clever beings worthy of respect." Over the next days, Jace worked with the colonists, showing them how to use the technologies and knowledge recovered from the archive. Energy systems that had been unstable now hummed smoothly. Old communication devices were adapted to reach nearby colonies. Even agriculture improved, using clever combinations of biology and technology inspired by the archive. The colony's morale transformed. Once fearful and resigned to hardship, they now laughed, debated ideas, and dreamed. Humans were beginning to see themselves as more than survivors. They were innovators, explorers, and thinkers. Meanwhile, Rin's sensors detected distant disturbances. Alien factions were noticing anomalies, signals from the archive, unexpected energy surges, and the sudden activity of human colonies. But Jace did not worry. Humans would not fight. They would outthink, outadapt, and outcreate. The next colony they reached was larger, more established, but also more cautious. Its leaders were wary of strangers. Jace greeted them politely, explaining the knowledge he brought without arrogance. Slowly, he demonstrated humans' ingenuity, showing solutions to problems the colony had struggled with for decades. "What's this?" a scientist asked, pointing to a device that could purify water using minimal energy. "Humans think in ways others cannot," Jace explained. "We adapt, we improvise. We take scraps and make them powerful tools. This is our strength." The scientists' eyes widened. So, we can rebuild, improve, and thrive without needing their permission. Yes, Jace said firmly, and we can do it together. Every colony, every settlement can contribute to a new human legacy. Word of Jace and Rin's arrival spread. Colonists from neighboring worlds arrived, curious and hopeful. Each new settlement added to the network, sharing ideas, improvements, and strategies. Humans were awakening to their potential, inspired not by threats, but by the demonstration of ingenuity and collaboration. Back aboard Rin, Jace reviewed the map of activated colonies. Each dot represented a human settlement now connected, aware, and empowered. "Look at this, Rin," he said. "We've started something. Humans are waking up." Rin's lights pulsed brightly. "Yes, the galaxy will take notice, but humans must act wisely. Intelligence and creativity are stronger than force, but they must be used responsibly." Jace nodded. He thought of the galaxy beyond, the alien civilizations that had underestimated humans for centuries. They would notice the changes. Some might be curious, others wary, but humans would not rely on violence. They would rely on their minds, their cleverness, and their adaptability. That was how they would rise. As they prepared to visit more distant colonies, a subtle pulse on Rin's sensors caught Jace's attention. It was faint but distinct, a signal from the ancient archive they had left behind. Someone or something was aware of the activity. "Rin," Jace said, "someone knows we've been using the archive. Should we hide?" "Not necessarily," Rin replied. "We are not a threat. We are a demonstration of potential. Let them see what humans can do when underestimated." Jace smiled. "Exactly. We don't hide, we show, we inspire." The pulse intensified as they approached the next cluster of human colonies. These were remote, isolated by light years of space, yet filled with people who had always believed in survival alone. Jace's arrival was met with awe and curiosity. He demonstrated simple but powerful innovations: water purification, energy efficiency, automated farming, and communication systems connecting distant settlements. Each invention was adapted from the archive but applied in ways humans could understand and improve. The colonists' reactions were extraordinary. Children laughed at the machines, learning quickly. Adults debated methods, shared ideas, and improved upon Jace's instructions. Humanity's ingenuity spread like a spark, igniting creativity and collaboration across worlds. And the galaxy noticed. Distant observers detected sudden surges of organized human activity. Alien factions, long accustomed to dismissing humans, were forced to acknowledge the species' ingenuity and adaptability. But instead of panic or violence, Jace relied on demonstration. Every problem solved, every colony revitalized, every network connected was a statement. Humans were clever, capable, and unstoppable, not through force, but through intelligence and heart. One night, Jace looked out from Rin's cockpit at the clusters of colonies now humming with energy, communication, and innovation. The stars above seemed to shimmer in response, reflecting the awakening of a species long underestimated. "Rin," Jace said softly, "we've done it. Humans are rising, not because we fought, but because we outthought, outadapted, and outcreated." Rin's lights pulsed warmly. "Indeed, this is humanity's strength. Others may attempt to suppress it, but intelligence and creativity cannot be contained. You have started something extraordinary." Jace smiled, feeling a mix of pride and humility. He had once been a homeless scavenger, surviving day by day, unnoticed and dismissed. Now he had ignited a movement, a demonstration of what humans could achieve when they embraced their potential. As the network of colonies expanded, Jace and Rin continued their journey, connecting settlements, sharing knowledge, and inspiring humans to see themselves as more than survivors. Each new colony awakened brought new ideas, improvements, and innovations. Humans were no longer hidden, underestimated, or ignored. They were recognized for what they had always been: adaptable, clever, and unstoppable when united. And somewhere in the far reaches of the galaxy, alien civilizations took note. They could not erase the evidence, nor could they deny the awakening of a species they had underestimated. Humans had risen, not through weapons or conquest, but through brilliance, creativity, and courage. Jace leaned back in the cockpit, watching the stars streak past. "We did it, Rin," he said quietly. "We've shown them. Humans are not weak. We're something more, something unstoppable." Rin's voice, calm and steady, responded, "Yes, and this is only the beginning. Humans will continue to adapt, create, and inspire. Their potential is limitless." The stars stretched endlessly before them, full of possibilities, mysteries, and challenges. But Jace no longer feared the unknown. He had seen what humans could achieve when underestimated, and he knew they would continue to rise, through cleverness, ingenuity, and heart. And the galaxy would never again look at humans the same way. For the first time, humans were truly awakened. And the story of their rise had only just begun.